All right, so you've written your profile, you've gotten responses, you've texted the girls, and now they're starting to give you positivity. They're starting to, at the very least, ask you questions, and probably they're even giving you some kind of like complimentary participatory stuff. So now it's time to close. How exactly do you do it? Well, first I want to reiterate, you close off of positivity. Don't try and close off a shit test. Don't try and close off of silence. I know I mentioned that in previous module, but it's so important to remember, close at a high point, close when things are going well, okay? Next thing to keep in mind, it's not a close per se, it's a closing sequence. I want to introduce what I call the soft close. Now, if you were to close a girl and you say, let's get together at 7 o'clock tomorrow for a drink at this exact place. If you say that, and you're putting a lot of pressure on her, because if she says yes to it, she's obligated, right? It's a big imposition. She has to basically say, you're more important than anything else that might be coming up for her, or she has to be that awkward person that becomes flaky and maybe ruins the interaction with you. So you're putting a lot of pressure on it. So because you're putting pressure, you're more likely to get wishy-washiness or hear the word no than if you were to do it in a less pressured way. So an easier way to close is to close in the general. Be like, instead of let's get a drink at this place at this time, say, what's your view on drinks with cute boys? Something that like more vague like that, or you know what, you seem fun to talk to. Maybe we should actually hang out at some point, right? Something that's vague and she can agree with, but yeah, that sounds like fun. But if she agrees to it, she hasn't obligated herself, so it's easier to get that yes. Then once you've gotten the yes, that compliance of saying yes and the commitment and consistency that she's agreed to it will make the next step easier. So you generally want to be closing in a multi-step process. If I were to give you exactly what the sort of 3 steps would be, I would say the first step should be getting them to what I call qualify themselves to you, which basically means that she's telling you she's cool, telling you she's interesting. She's indicating that she wants you to like her. Once you have that from her, where she's either complimenting you, that's another one, either complimenting you or indicating that she has an interest in you liking her, that's when you're in good shape. So then the next step would be close in the general sense. If you get a yes to that, then close in the specific sense. And by doing that in a step-by-step process instead of all at once, you're actually much more likely to get a yes. It'll take more messages to get there, but it increases your percentages considerably. It's very, very worth doing. One other word on closing. This is from sales, and really a lot of meeting girls, especially meeting girls online, is a lot like sales and marketing. But there's this phrase in sales that says, close early, close often, close late. Okay, and what that basically means is if you're talking with someone in a situation where you have an outcome in mind, i.e. getting them on a date in this case, you want to bring that up in the conversation earlier rather than later. Now, you don't want to bring it up in like a very like try-hard way that's like an anvil dropping in the conversation. You want to do it subtly, but you want to bring it up. And the reason you want to bring it up early is you want to find out what objections she might have early enough that you can then deal with them. So you can continue the conversation, continue offering value, having a good conversation while knocking away at those objections, instead of having a great conversation and then at the end trying to close all at once and finding out all kinds of information you didn't have, okay? So you want to be hinting at the close very early on, but remember, it's a procedure. It's not an all at once thing. It's little by little by little. But remember, as soon as there's that opportunity where you think a close might happen, put something out there. And if you do get a no or a rejection on a close, that doesn't mean never. It just means not right now and not to that particular thing, okay? It doesn't mean never. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video with a couple particular things. They're very technical. They're not like general concepts, but they're so useful. I want you to have them because they will dramatically increase your percentages. First one is this. When you are doing online game and you want to close a girl for a number, instead of saying, what's your number? Say this. My number is your number. What's yours? I can give you some theories as to why this works, but the biggest thing you should take from this is it works. I've tried it both ways, and I get a considerably higher response rate on the number if I say my number is this, what's yours? My reasoning of why that works, at least in theory, would be that you are you're giving a little something. You're showing that you trust her enough to give her your number, so it makes her want to reciprocate and give you hers, as opposed to just asking for something without giving anything in return. But regardless of why it works, it does work, so do it. Next. I said a minute ago that if she says no to something, it doesn't mean no to everything, and it doesn't mean no forever. So what you want to have in your interaction is what we call playful persistence. You want to keep moving things forward to the close. If you get a no, you back off, have good interaction, try again later. Keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, keep it funny, and then keep trying for the close over and over again. But the key thing is playfulness. Change her mood, not her mind. Don't try and win a logical argument with the girl to get her out. Instead, get her in a good mood and make her want to come out, and then ask again. And then the last point is, I said ask again, but never ask the same thing again that she said no to. So for example, if you said, let's grab lunch, and she said no, playfully persist, get her in a good mood, and then don't ask her again for lunch because she already said no to that. So if she were to say yes, she'd have to admit she's wrong. Instead, ask her for a drink. Ask her to go play pool. Ask her for something else instead. Okay? So you want to be playfully persistent and you want to keep asking for different things. Okay? So let's reiterate what are the key points here. Number one, closing is a process. You want to do the soft close first and then gradually move to the hard close. Okay? You want to be playfully persistent, but you don't want to be closing for the same thing every time. All right? It's a lot of information specifically on the close, but I find that that's one of the areas that guys mess up more than anything else, and so that's why I've made a specific module for it. If you get your closing effective, you will dramatically increase your results. There are a lot of what you do in an interaction, a lot of the communication doesn't matter, but the way you handle the close will make a significant difference. So ingrain these ideas, remember the soft close, and remember that it's a process. All right. So we've given you kind of an overall procedure of everything to do from writing your profile to texting to closing to get the girl's number, to get her out on a date, that kind of thing. Now I'm going to show you in the next module an example of a full interaction from the first message all the way through the date and taking the girl home. So watch and enjoy, see how it's done. And then after that, the last module, just to introduce it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about other resources you can look at if you want to take your game with online and texting to the next level and get to that truly like elite level results. I'll show you exactly how to do that in the last module. All right, so watch and enjoy.